Mods Media Machine presents the Brews with the Dudes podcast.
Yeah, I've never messed with it.
I mean, I've been depriving you playing with the motherboard.
I've never gotten to touch the sweet dials and
audio board.
The flicky light things.
The Behringer Q1202 USB.
The more I talk about it, the more I realize
C3PO.
why I haven't touched any of it yet.
Yeah, definitely. That's okay, man. That's okay.
It's all a learning process.
Yeah.
We all of our areas. I know my peanut butter. You know your soundboards.
Jam.
Jam?
Jam. I know my peanut butter to the jam,
Oh,
jam
yeah.
to the peanut butter.
I got that.
Yeah, okay. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Brews with the Dudes podcast.
Yeah. And on
In this show, we show you how to. I said pottycast, so I'm like,
Pottycast?
my mind's trying to make me go a potty training direction.
on this episode, we show you how to take a leak.
Yeah. Well, because like we're dads that are going through the potty training shit. Like
Well,
you're more.
I'm not going through the potty. I know how to. I'm potty trained.
Oh, you're not. You don't go through it with your kids.
No, I'm just like sit on the toilet, go to the bathroom.
Oh God, I'm doing this all wrong.
They walk in sometimes. I'm like, yeah,
Jeez.
see, toilet.
Because
This
I
is
mean,
where you
I'm
do your
sitting
business.
there on like a little like kid latrine, trying to tuck my dick and balls into that little teeny seat, and you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm doing it wrong.
No, I've shown Roman a couple of times. Like, dude, you gotta like aim. You know?
You gotta point it. See,
Yeah.
my son's little chair has like a little cup on the seat itself
Yeah.
has like a little,
It's got a little shield.
shield that's just like it directs the flow.
Yeah, it's like a mud flap.
Yeah, like why don't they have that on regular toilet seats?
Dude, some of the
Well-
people I work with, they need that.
God, but that's the thing is like if you think about just the anatomy of it though, like, I mean, does your dick sit on the top of the seat?
No,
Not
but
really.
the most
They hang.
the most awkward thing in the world though is when your dick just gets that brush on the front of the bowl.
Dude.
It's so.
It's the-
it's
well,
the worst feeling in the world.
Okay, so like there's for the ladies that are watching, all of none of you.
Yeah, all three of you.
There's two sizes of toilets.
Yes.
There's the long toilet, and then there's like the short circular one.
Mm-hmm.
And women don't notice the difference.
No.
Men do. So some of them, your junk is just like pressing against not like the inside of the bowl, but just like the hard, like the big rim that's around the top of it, like the what would you call that? A flange?
The lip?
The lip?
Yeah, it's the lip.
Like the lip of the thing is just your wiener is just pressed against
Flop it.
that.
Yeah,
Like it's the
awful.
worst thing ever.
It's worse when you're in public. Like if you're at a gas
Oh.
station and you're like, oh
Dude,
no.
when I realize
no.
it's a shallow toilet in a restaurant or wherever the hell, it's rare that they're at restaurants. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
You
typical-
don't see them out too often.
It's typically
but
like an old gas station.
yeah, exactly.
Well-
Or it's like a restaurant or something where it's like they just opted for the shallow, whatever it
Because
is.
they're a bunch of cheap fucks.
It is I don't even think the prices are different.
It's gotta be. There's less material.
Or it's maybe a small bathroom, so they're worried about like space in
yeah.
front of the toilet. But I don't care. Like, crack your knees. I don't want my penis pressed up against the rim, especially if somebody else's toilet.
you
like,
mean you
what
don't-
I'll do is I will kind of like lean back. Well, here it depends on how bad you have to poop. Because sometimes you just don't have a choice.
Yeah,
You're
so-
peeing and pooping at the same time. It's happening.
Yeah,
if
so-
you get the choice, I'll kind of like lean and point back a little bit, take a leak, and then I'll just set my dong on the seat. Like I'll just like lean, I'll move forward and rest it up there.
I don't want my junk touching the porcelain in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
or
the seat isn't
Nope,
porcelain.
nope. If it's
Well, I mean, when you
if it's a public bathroom, I don't want my junk touching anything.
well, just
somebody
take your
else touched.
sock off and put it over your junk, and then you got a nice shield. Problem solved. I don't see the problem here.
Yeah, no,
No,
thanks.
you don't do that? Okay,
I-
well, what about if you wrapped it in toilet paper so it looks like a mummified penis? I mean, it wouldn't look like a mummified penis. It just looked like a mummified package because you'd be wrapping the whole thing. If you took the time to wrap the individual components of your genitalia, that would be funny.
You put way too much thought into this.
This is just how quickly my mind is working tonight.
I'm impressed. It's 'cause
Yeah.
you don't have any alcohol in your system.
That's the problem. We should probably fix
we
that.
should probably fix
And I
that.
should put my hat on correctly. This is a joke while we were testing everything out.
Yeah, but
so-
see now there's a bald spot and there's glare and
Well, it's like the whole forehead
What?
is just there isn't a bald spot. There's just there's like a 5 head.
why does your hairline start behind your ears?
because I'm going for that Bozo the Clown look. It starts in my ears. That's why I'm growing facial hair out.
To kind of like
just to
blend it
compensate.
together?
Well, it's me claiming my hair back. I'm taking my hair back. As it recedes up here, I'm growing it out here. So in my mind, I'm not losing hair. I'm
You're
just changing the
it's a
location.
relocation?
Exactly. It's a witness protection program. Top of my head did something wrong, and so I'm just like,
I'm just gonna go
move
here.
to Florida.
Like, oh, you haven't had nacho cheese on you before. Here, just grow here.
Precisely. Grab the beer, man.
What do you
Grab
want?
me a, there's an IPA in there. I'm gonna put the hat on.
An IPA?
There's an IPA.
That's not an IPA. That's a winter ale. It's this one.
So you were just talking about
It's a
how
stout. I will
that's-
take the stout.
Yep,
You hold
that's
that.
for you.
Hold that.
This is mine.
Juicy IPA.
Juicy IPA. So, yes. What am I trying to say here?
That's a stout.
That's a beer. So you were just talking earlier about how like you're not always in the mood for porters or stouts, and that's literally what I got for you tonight.
They're still my favorite kind of beer is always a stout. There's just something about the flavor and how you can kind of chew on it, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
I love that about it. But I've noticed if I go out to a bar and I have a stout, like I'm kind of full afterwards.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll just have Coors after
Yeah,
that. Like, when you
there's
fill it up,
definitely like a full feeling to some kinds of beer. You know, like you do feel like you can chew it, like
Yeah.
a really good heavy oatmeal stout,
Yeah.
especially. Oatmeal stout to me
Oatmeal
is
stouts.
like oatmeal cookie stout.
Yeah,
like
and see,
you feel
I-
like you're chewing something.
I love oatmeal stouts. Big Boat being one of my favorites. But yeah, that's a like I want to treat myself type beer.
Whoa.
As this is Earth Rider, their stout's really good. I've had this before. It's a fantastic stout.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, it
as
is.
filling. It's,
Right.
It's still a heavy beer, and I'm still not gonna sit down and drink 6 of them because I'd probably just not feel
You'd
well.
chork.
Yeah, I'd,
Yep.
I'd probably have to go take a dump and then worry about my own genitalia touching the toilet and all that, and I don't want to go through all that.
a problem.
That's assuming that it's solid enough to even use the toilet. I might just be able to use it. You don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. But
Could be.
yeah. So these
Uh-huh.
are fine to have more than one of.
Yes. Okay, I'm following now. Well, and like I can stomach a handful of porters,
that-
or not porters, IPAs.
Is that a hammerhead shark?
Yes, it's a hammerhead. Doesn't look like they're trying to do anything too clever with the design. So this is a Summit Slugfest. It's a juicy IPA. I'm pretty much obsessed with juicy IPAs like Portage and.
If my daughter watches
those.
this podcast, which given the first 5 minutes she won't be,
Your 5-year-old daughter. What relationship does she have with juicy IPAs?
she loves hammerhead sharks.
Oh,
Like,
cool. Okay.
To the point
Are you
where
gonna say like, oh, that's her favorite kind of beer?
well, it's not like she drinks and drives. She's
Well, that's
responsible.
true. She's pretty responsible.
Don't
Perfect.
let her go to
Naps
school
go
drunk.
way smoother.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was a little asshole tonight. If she had a beer in her, she'd be fine.
Oh, that's such a good point. She's having withdrawals.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. She's getting the shakes.
But she loves hammerhead so much that she's asked me if my next tattoo will be a shark.
That's cool.
She's like, you should
Well,
get a hammerhead shark. I'm like,
now you kind of have to.
I kind of don't want one though. I
You
think
should
they're
get
cool,
a
but-
hammerhead. That's like a claw hammerhead.
This
So-
one's I just get different ones. This one's a ball peen.
Yeah, and they're like circling each other,
How would you do a
arguing over who's the better hammer.
How would you do a rubber mallet then? Or does that not qualify as a hammer? Because it's
I
a
don't know.
mallet.
Yeah, I guess like it's semantics. I don't know. That's kind of. I guess it's up for debate. What do you guys think? I don't know. Is
think-
is a
think it's a
mallet
hammer.
a hammer?
It's a style of hammer.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd say
it's
so.
it's shaped like a hammer. You
Yeah.
whack things with it.
Yeah, but then a bat could be a hammer.
Yes. Is a bat a hammer? Not the creature.
I guess.
Not the mammal.
I mean, technically, I guess anything could be a hammer if you swing it fast enough.
Speaking of that,
Could this baby bunny be a hammer?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, I'm gonna go down that road. So the hippies,
hippies?
all of the hippies that watch this aren't gonna love this.
Yeah, Steve, don't
so-
listen right now.
Many years ago, I think I was probably 16, so this was in the early 1900s.
I was gonna say, was the light bulb invented yet?
No. We were ice fishing on Lake of the Woods, and so me and a couple of buddies were up there with his folks. And this was, of course, the parents that let us drink. So we're all sitting in a little, it's like a decent-sized ice fishing house. Nothing too big. I fit 3 of us in there fine.
Okay.
So we're sitting in there smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, 16, because that's what you do when you live up here. Just getting trashed. And, like, we started all of a sudden catching a bunch of eel pout. So obviously it's the middle of winter. We're ice fishing. So you catch the eel pout. Eel pout are these big, disgusting eel-looking things. They're eel fish, essentially.
Yeah, I got that from
Google
the name.
them. They're horrific looking, right? Big, ugly, wormy, long.
Yeah, don't most people just kind of
snaky.
like, for lack of better words, kill them? Like
Pretty much.
Yeah, they just kind of toss them on land usually.
So we just chucked them outside of the ice fishing house. We didn't throw them back in the water because they're, I think they're technically like an invasive species.
Okay.
So we're just chucking them out on the ice, and then they were freezing, which thinking about it now, I was like, wow, that was kind of terrible.
Did you use them as hockey sticks?
I'm getting there. So, at one point, we started using them as bats. And we would, like, throw things up, and these are frozen eel pout. And we were cracking, like, rocks and beer cans and shit with it. And then we started having sword fights.
Wait, with the eel powder?
Yes.
Okay.
With the eel pout. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of an asshole for that.
I am
but
kind of an asshole,
at
yeah.
the same time, I remember going fishing with my dad this is in Kansas, and gar we're a pretty common fish in some of the
those are
bigger
so
lakes out
ugly.
there. And gar, if anybody knows about them, they're pretty aggressive, and they just eat everything. You know?
Yeah.
They're just a bad fish.
Well, and they're uglier than sin. So if you go to like a fish store, where you get like a house fish tank or whatever, they probably have gar there because they're kind of gnarly looking.
Yeah, that's
Kind
like
of evil looking.
alligator snout to them type deal.
Yeah, they're hardcore.
And I remember going to the spillway, and you would see a handful of them up on the shore with the mouths chopped off of them.
Oh,
People would just kill them.
they cut the mouths off?
Some people would cut the mouths off and toss them back, or just leave them on the land, or what have you.
Oh, gross.
Because they would eat all the good fish.
Oh, okay.
You know, they'd eat the
gotcha.
catfish or the bass or whatever.
They're bad fish because they'd eat the good fish that we want to eat.
Yeah, which is kind of a dick move, but
So when are we going to be the invasive species?
aren't we kind of already the invasive?
Yeah.
Aren't we the ones killing the planet right now?
But like, where's the aliens to come back and be like, the fuck, guys?
I'm sure if aliens have ever been here, they'd take one look at us, like, they ain't got their shit together enough
Yeah,
for this.
these space monkeys are stupid.
Yeah, they're still fighting over land.
Land and
Resources, like that doesn't make sense.
yeah, pretty much. And whose god is
So
better?
you're more concerned about this piece of paper that you put value to, and you think it's worth more than their piece of paper that they put value to?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because that makes fucking sense.
For now. Once Bitcoin comes out, then we'll have the global currency and
Whatever.
yeah. You don't know anything about Bitcoin, do you?
No, I know
It's pretty cool, man.
I know it's worth a ton of money all of a sudden.
Yeah, they skyrocketed. I think today they're at 39,000 a coin,
Jesus.
which I mean, there's only however many millions that'll ever be in circulation. Like there's a max to the amount of Bitcoin, so that's why the value is so funky. Because you think about it, you're just like, well, this silver dollar is just worth $1. It'll never be worth more than that. Like not really, unless like collectors decide that it's worth more.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got some that are worth more.
National currency isn't going to like just raise
Yeah.
all of these things.
No.
But Bitcoin, it's like it's going to continue to inflate as it gets more and more used until it reaches a certain point.
What the hell do you use it for?
It's just virtual currency. Bitcoin is amazing in that it's more than likely going to take over eventually because it's a decentralized currency, meaning that it is not controlled by the Fed.
Oh, okay.
Banks will never won't hold your money. You'll basically have a virtual wallet, and then there's a whole
Weird.
crazy network that they're all like intertwined into, and
It just sounds like an easy way for somebody to steal.
it's
you.
actually like, from my understanding, it's way harder just in the way that it's like how sophisticated the software, not the software, the coding and stuff like that is. I don't know enough about the actual ins and outs, the code side of things, but if you think about like, so how many times in your life have you dealt with fraudulent situations? Have you ever had your
Twice.
card stuff stolen and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
after they switched the little chip in your card, they're like, it's so much safer. A month later, my account got hacked. And I looked at the teller at the bank, I'm like, you're kind of full of shit, I think.
Yeah, so it's like, if you think about the frequency that those fraudulent things happen, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be any less safe. I think if anything, it's going to be more safe. And I don't know enough about it to like give it to pay justice to the debate, but I'm just really excited about it. One, because I own a little bit of it, and because it's exciting to see that human beings are working toward being kind of a globalized people.
I had a science teacher in high school that was talking about all that kind of stuff, and he was saying how if mankind ever wants to explore another planet, we first have to come together on the planet we're on.
That's an interesting theory. I don't remember the name of the dude, and I was actually just watching a video that described this pretty good the other day, talking about the sort of like the states of a species, and like how we're like at a level 0 right now kind of species or beings, and once you reach like a level 2, that means that like there's like all of the beings use like the same language, the same currency. We're able to manipulate the weather and stuff like that.
We can't even use the metric system in our country.
But we will in time. That's the kind of cool thing is you think about a lot of these things are going to become sort of more more universal worldwide, which some people fear is the death of culture. But I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. Yeah, I don't know.
Here's the way I look at it: is the sooner we can all be like, hey, if we just share everything, the better off the world's going to be.
We stop being assholes to each other and arguing over land and resources.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
like if we can pull all of our resources and work towards one common goal, well, instead of being, we're restricted to what the resources we have in our country, and you're restricted to the resources you have in your country, we put them together, we can do some really cool shit then.
Yeah, it's sort of like delegating responsibilities and that kind of thing. Like obviously certain people would be better at textiles, certain people would be better with, iron ore, steel industry, stuff like that. Sure. And for the most part, we have a pretty global economy right now. It's just like, it's a screwy, very boomer kind of system, which is,
It'll get there, hopefully.
It'll get it better. But where I was going with this is you were talking about sort of like this theory that once we solve the problems on Earth, then we can explore elsewhere. And this theory is that like, or not theory, or it's a model for once you reach like a level 2, you become an interplanetary species. So once you've reached the point where you're actually like manipulating your own weather patterns and controlling almost every aspect of the planet that you live on, then you're working toward being a sort of interplanetary species, which is kind of cool because I think maybe not in our lifetimes, but not too far off, we'll probably become sort of that like level 1 species. Like our kids will see that.
Yeah, that's assuming
like we're going to start controlling weather soon.
That's assuming we don't completely fuck our world into non-existence.
I think that, but here's the cool thing that actually gives me hope is that like we know that there's problems. We know that there's things like global warming.
We're
and all
aware
these
of it now. We just need to all want to fix it.
That alone is going to push us to engineer weather, and we're already doing it. Did you know that right now we can actually drop like powdered chemical, and it's everything's a chemical. If you think of water's, I don't know if water's technically a chemical, but maybe it's an element, whatever. Anyway, maybe it's not an element. God damn it, I'm so good at science.
It's on a skateboard, it's an element.
Right, but like we can, nice. We can basically control clouds right now.
Okay.
Like they're already dropping silver dioxide or whatever into certain clouds and testing like controlling weather patterns and like basically like it's causing rain when these clouds aren't and all this kind of stuff. Like we're already kind of getting there. We're testing that kind of stuff out. So it's exciting that we're sort of in the infancy of a lot of those things, a lot of those engineering marvels that will hit soon. So it's cool, and it's like a lot of that should happen in our lifetime.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
I'm almost 40, so hopefully I've got, I'm maybe not halfway. I hope. I hope to live into my 90s, as long as it's a healthy 90s.
Fuck, your goal is
So.
way longer than mine.
Yeah?
75.
You want to live to 75?
At least 75.
Oh, at least 75.
At least 75
I
is
can
my goal.
appreciate that.
Because I figure if I retire at like 60, 65, hopefully, that gives me 10-ish years. And I figure in 10 years of retirement, at that point, that's probably about the point where you start getting bored a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you mean like after retirement?
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to be able to retire until
Oh,
we're
no.
70. So you're saying
Oof.
5 years of retirement, you're going to want to
God.
like die? You're like, all right, throw me in the ground.
I want at least 10 years of retirement.
You're funny. So, I have had a vision, and this I know this is going to sound so
vision?
cheesy.
You
So
had a
cheesy.
vision?
Vision sounds cheesy, but just sort of
Yes,
like
it sounds very
this
cheesy.
is a goal of mine. Is that like I want to be that silver fox. I want to be that hot old dude who's still in good shape, who's taking care of himself.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but to be a hot old dude, you have to be a hot young dude.
Ouch, buddy. Touche. But no, what I mean is like I want to not get fat. Basically, I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
stay in good shape. Like I'm almost 40, and I'm not obese.
You wanna
I'm
be-
a little. I'm teeny bit overweight.
Like,
so I'm doing good so far.
I'm okay if I never become like ripped,
Mm-hmm.
but if I'm 70 and I'm still like able to be active, and I'm not talking
Right.
like walk around the mall, like I could still, but like I could
yeah,
still
we've seen
go.
the grandpas who walk around the malls.
But like
we
you
want to be
can,
more
you can still
active
go on
than
some
that.
pretty good hikes and stuff like that, and
Oh, for
sure,
sure.
your body
yeah.
can still tolerate maybe going around a track at 100 miles an hour, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Then then I'm doing good.
Well, I feel like our body's an instrument.
Yes.
So don't you want to keep it as refined as possible, or as accurate, or whatever the term would be?
Yes and no. I'm also a firm believer of putting your body through hell. Not like
Yes.
not like extreme
Yes.
constant. Like I'm not saying go out and do heroin or meth. I'm not saying stuff like that.
That's just abuse.
But-
That's like stupid abuse.
I think by abusing your body a little bit once in a while, you kind of teach your body some tolerance.
yeah.
And then when something does happen, your body's like, all right, that's fine. I can handle this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I think in that regard, too, like, pushing yourself physically in exercise is a huge part of that, too. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they like to use the analogy of, like, I party hard, and so that's how I keep my body, like, that's sort of like that. Like, what you're talking about is sort of like a use it or lose it kind of thing. A lot of people will say that, like, partying is a part of that, whatever. I think that's fucking stupid. I think what that
party's more
really
destructive.
is... Exactly. Like I think what that really is like you got to work out. You got to get that heart rate up.
Yeah.
You got to like work. You got to like roof a house. Dig a ditch.
Yeah.
Like
do,
whatever it
do
is.
some physical labor.
Work your ass off until you're like ready to pass out, and then after you sweat and you just feel completely worn the fuck out, I think that's when you've reached that like, okay, good, you've used your body.
Yeah.
Your body remembers that it's an instrument.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put that.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean about like that. My goal is like I need to be a lights flickering.
Yeah, the lights flickering.
I know I was doing that during the last podcast. Is that like I want to still be a functional old man. Like I want to be 75 years old, and like you'd said, I want to be able to take a hike, like
Yeah.
a legit hike.
Or be like, I'm gonna build a dining room table. Like, okay,
yeah, I want to
cool.
be able to ride a bicycle.
Yeah.
You don't see too many elderly people riding bicycles, and that's just crazy.
No.
Like, that seems like such a bummer because bikes are amazing. Like, I love riding a bike.
Yeah, I still want to be that old guy that can like, not gonna be out in the garage for 8 hours, but still go out and rent for
Right.
2 or 3 hours, or be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go not just on the Munger Trail, but we're gonna go up Ely's Peak, or
Right.
to build crazy shit or whatever it is. I'm not saying I want to go rock climbing or jump off, cliff jumping or something like that, but I don't want to just sit there.
For
Like,
sure.
that's my
Yeah.
biggest. I guess one of my biggest fears in life. I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm sitting there literally watching life pass me by.
Oof. Oh, no
Screw
shit,
that.
dude.
Screw that.
Well, and like the fact that you have that fear in the front of your mind is proof that you're not going to.
It's almost a double-edged sword though, because and this is something as the older I get, the more I realize about myself. Is I become over busy. I overdo
gotcha.
it. You know, and it's always with fun stuff. I've always had that philosophy of like, work is a necessity to make the fun things happen.
For sure.
But I'm always gonna, if I have the time to do something fun, I'm gonna do it. So I end up getting like working 40 hours a week, and then it's working on the cars with you, and then maybe soccer or bowling or disc golf, and we're gonna go hiking. And the next thing you know, you're busy 6 out of the 7 days of the week, and it catches up to you. So it's that kind of happy balance.
Yeah, you do gotta like Hakuna Matata every now and again. I'm the same way. Like, I frequently, I don't know why the phrase comes to mind, especially days when I'm like really exhausted. The phrase burning the candle at both ends, or burning the wick at both ends, comes to mind frequently, because it's like, oh, I'm pushing myself too hard. You know, like I am. Whether I'm building projects, I'm working a 40-hour-a-week job, I'm raising 2 kids, I'm having time for my wife, I'm like trying to edit podcasts, and blah blah blah, like so many
all
things
adds up.
And on top of that, I'm still trying to be physically active too. So it's like, you feel just a little worn out, and I think it's good to do that as long as you're taking care of yourself at the end of it. You're like you're getting out to just sit on a dock and have a beer or
that's
take a swim.
Like my wife and I, we're opposites in a lot of ways, but we work really well, because she'll be like, you need to slow down a little bit. Yeah. She'll be like, I get it, like you want to get as much out of life as you possibly can, but just step back.
Yeah, slow down.
At the same time, I'm like, let's do something. Like, go have fun. Go try this or whatever. Yeah. Go get some experiences. Because at the end of the day, when you're 80 and you're on your bed and your life's passing you by and your thoughts and all that, and you're coming to the end. Yep. That's all you got is your experiences.
Oh fuck, I know, dude. I know,
Yeah,
and like not to get too fucking heavy, but if you think about it, like when you're nearing the end of your life, what are you gonna value? Well, the most important thing is people. You're gonna value the people that you're around. So
most
friends,
of the people I'm around.
family, children, not you, and like experiences. Beyond that, no one's gonna think about the extra $5,000 they earned this year or that year. Nobody fucking.
He was
thinks
able to
about
put $10,000 away in his 401k every year. No one's gonna think that.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're older, you might benefit from that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not gonna knock investing, but I'm definitely gonna say don't like work yourself to the absolute bone.
It's a fine line. Like, do enough to plan ahead. But at the same time, just remember you can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah, you can, dude. Well, my dad always talked about being such a workaholic, and now that I look back at it, it was like, yeah, my dad was working 14-hour days all the time.
I want to be at work as physically little as I have to be.
Right.
Like I said, it's a necessity. To me, it's a means to an end. What do I enjoy out of life? I like building cars. That's expensive as fuck. Right. I like getting tattooed. That's expensive as fuck. I like to travel. That's expensive as fuck. I can't fucking talk. Expensive as fuck. There we go.
Expensive as fuck. Yeah.
So it's like, well, how are you gonna pay for it? Well, you gotta work. So that's what also kind of helps when I'm having bad days at work. That's what helps me sometimes. Like, well, by working this extra 2 hours today, even though I'm gonna be tired, that's an extra so and so. So it pays for this part that I want, or like we're going to Miami in a few weeks, or like a month roughly. It's like, okay, I can use that for this or what have you, and
as long as you strike a balance, for sure. But yeah, like I mean, to get back to like the whole, making sure when you're on your deathbed that you're satisfied with the way that you handled your life, man. Yeah, it's like
no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. Regrets.
Is it regrets?
Regrets.
Yeah, regrets. Is it regrets or regrets?
I don't fucking know.
If you know, tell us.
Yeah, or don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So, you haven't had 3 kids, but
I haven't had any.
Number
kids.
3 is almost here. Sure, you have.
Well, no. I mean, my wife has had 3 kids, or 2 kids.
I felt like there was a joke in there somewhere about like poops, but I just couldn't come up with a good enough one. So carry on.
Oh, if we're talking about little shits, then
Yeah.
then yes, I've had
For
some
sure,
little
you got a
shits,
couple
but
of those. Okay, so baby number 3,
yes,
almost here.
yes.
In 6 months, 3 months,
May, she's doing May, early May.
however
May
long
3rd.
ago that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, May's the 5th
months?
month,
Yeah,
so 5-ish months.
sure.
Yeah. So, when are you getting a vasectomy? And are you getting one?
I'm gonna talk to the doctor about an hour after my kid is born and be like, hey.
You're not gonna like give it a little bit of time to just make sure that this one's gonna be like good, it's gonna hang in there.
Nope.
No, you're
Nope.
just like, this is it, I'm done.
Yep. You pushed out 3, that's what you get.
That's amazing. Mine is scheduled.
Is it?
It's scheduled. So I sat in with the doctor. Let me tell you, I kind of knew, like, I understood the principle of what a vasectomy
They
is.
cut you open, they snip.
Bro, I thought, for whatever reason in my head, I thought it was like they clamp them. You know, they clamp off the tube or something like that. So,
No, they fucking-
you know, you got 2 nuts hanging in that bag, and they got a tube attached to the both of them, and that's how it delivers the spermies, right? I think. Yeah.
Thanks for the anatomy lesson.
So, well, the viewers might not know. I mean, I don't know how, like,
do
how
we
up
need a
they are on-
whiteboard and a marker so we can draw them a
Good,
diagram?
well, I'll flash it up on the screen, maybe. I'll show the diagram. No joke, though. Like, they cut slits on both sides of the nutsack to pull the tube out, the vas deferens out, and then... Oops, sorry, guys. Can you still hear me?
Oh, God.
And then they snip it,
Oh.
and then they cauterize both sides, and then they tuck it back in
Oh.
and stitch you up. Isn't that the worst thing
God,
ever?
they better knock me the
Ugh.
fuck out for that.
Every time I think about it, I feel it.
Yeah.
Not like a direct
Ugh.
pain, but I feel a cringe.
So I got a buddy I work with who got snipped,
Ugh.
and apparently his wife was in the room when they did it,
Oh God.
and the doctor asked her, "Hey, you want to make the cut?"
Oh my God, no!
And
Did she do it?
She snipped him.
Oh,
Oh.
oh man, I wouldn't sleep with that woman in the same
No,
room. I couldn't
God,
trust
no.
her.
I,
She's willing to cut your ball bag, ball tubes.
every time she was doing the dishes
Jesus
and like washing a knife, I'd
Christ.
just be like, I can't be in there with you.
Yeah, if she's
Ugh.
holding a scissor. Oh, just freaked me out.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ, she cut it?
Yeah, she cut
That's so fucked.
it. Yeah, and he was saying like
Oh my
like
God.
they don't knock you out for it. It's not a long procedure, so they just numb you the
No.
fuck up.
You have 2 options, and it depends on like if you can handle it, if you can be awake for it, versus if you can't.
I can't be awake for that. You're knocking me out.
Well, it's a $5,000 difference.
Done.
Yeah, you
sold.
don't care. So
I don't-
$6,000 to be knocked out for it.
I got insurance.
Are you sure insurance pays for it?
Hopefully.
I'm pretty sure it's an elective surgery. Mine is with my insurance. So,
I will.
do you want to pay a G or do you want to pay 6 Gs? I'm gonna be awake for it.
Wait, it's a grand just to
Yeah,
get it.
it's a yeah
Fuck.
surgery, bro. Yeah, I know it's not cheap, but
That's
I mean,
fucked.
ugh, yeah. Well, one CT
Oh.
scan is like that much. If you think about
I
it.
wonder if I can fight the whole it's an elective surgery thing. If I could go to court, and be like, look at my kids.
Your court. You go to the court.
Yeah, go to court, and be like, you really want more of these? You want more of these in
You
town?
want more of these around? Oh,
No,
my God.
no.
You really want me reproducing more?
We
I
get
could think
snipped.
of a lot of people that'd be in that line first.
Well, see,
where
here's-
they'd be
here's
like,
the
okay,
thing.
you're not gonna have kids. You're not gonna have kids. You're not gonna have kids.
From a society standpoint,
Oh,
the
yeah.
women, because men can have kids. Like when they're 90, they can still have kids. But
Oh,
like,
totally.
but like women have that time, you know.
Yeah.
So it would make more sense to be like, no, you're doing us a favor because we know you're not just gonna pop out kids every other fucking week.
Yeah, well, and also, like, I think the biggest argument for, like, why dudes get fixed versus women is men, there's, like, almost zero physiological change. I think the only difference is that your nuts, when you bust, aren't as, like, big. Like, they're a tiny, there's, like, a tiny bit difference, apparently. That's it. So there's no hormonal changes, it sounds like. There's no change in sex drive. There's no physiological changes, you know, like I don't believe there's less testosterone or anything like that. Women, man, it fucks them up, dude. They gotta,
Really?
like, oftentimes they gotta do hormone therapy. they've like
Jesus.
I've heard, and believe me, like I don't pretend to like know exactly what I'm talking about, but all I know is that it's definitely worse for women.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
alright,
wouldn't you
well,
want to just be able to bust nuts and not like think about making more kids?
I
I
don't.
mean, is that not what you're thinking? Like,
I don't. I'm never fucking worried. We use
you've never were. Oh, because your wife's always been on birth control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just do her thing, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
not all
that-
women.
that's
not,
how-
birth control doesn't treat every woman the same.
That's very true. That's extremely true. And I know not every woman, like some birth controls will work for her, others won't, and like
Yeah.
it's all sorts of fucked up.
Oh, it's
Birth
crazy.
control in general is a little weird.
Right?
Because what was the saying? I read a saying years ago that said, "Doesn't it make more sense to take the bullets out of the gun than shoot at a bulletproof vest?"
Oh, that's such a good point. Wow, that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Huh.
okay, I get that. Like,
Well, so
that
how
makes
would
way
you
more
do
sense.
that? So, like, wonder if they could engineer a procedure where it's like, oh, okay, you turned 15, so we, just hop on into the ball bag and we like lock off the tubes.
I can see it now because men will always do things as cheap and easy as possible, and
Oh,
they
Jesus.
figure after 5 years, they're like, oh yeah, just a couple of twist ties, like you're good.
Oh yeah,
It
they
might-
grab zip ties.
It might itch once in a while, but you're good.
They're just like hanging out in the garage. And the one guy's like, "You want me to do it?" I'm like, "Okay," and they like you poke a little hole in it. You grab a zip tie. Oh, God, dabbing plastic in you. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, all I know is that like mine's scheduled, and now I'm terrified.
Yeah, you
I'm
should
looking
be.
forward to it, but I'm terrified. It's oh God. I got 2 wonderful kids. They're doing great, so it's time to get the snip.
Let's get it done.
Oh God.
On a different note, you might be wondering what we're sitting in front of. I'm
Yes.
done talking about your junk. I'm
You
sorry.
really are you? God
I-
damn it! What kind of friend are you?
Not that
To
kind of a
not
friend.
talk about my genitals.
We don't
I'll
have.
show you when it's done. I'll show
I'm-
you the stitches.
Free-
Pull the stitches out, and I'll like show you the cut off tubes. Like pull one end out, point it at you like it's a spaghetti noodle.
It's all fun and games. So I spray some brake cleaner at you.
Jesus Christ, that'd be the worst thing ever.
You'd never show me your nuts again.
Well, I was watching Weeds, and like so the TV show
Yeah,
Weeds.
yeah.
There's an
You're
episode
not
where
just
like
sitting
this
in the yard just
like,
staring at your grass.
Yes, thinking, damn you, always growing.
Fucking
And apparently,
dandelions.
like, I won't go into detail, but like, there's just this scene where there's like the son and then this chick or whatever, and I don't know if like she gives him the wrong signals, so like he goes to like whip it out or something like that, and she grabs a can of spray paint because their little hoodlums are spray painting something, and I can't tell if she spray painted his junk or spray painted like over his pants before he busted it out. Could you imagine
God.
getting spray paint on you get perfume,
Oof.
you get cologne on your nutsack, and it burns.
The wrong kind of soap will
Yeah.
do it too. It's
Can you imagine
fucking weird.
spray paint Rust-Oleum on your nutsack?
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of talking about nutsacks. So
Oh God.
tell the people about this shitty BMW behind you. Us.
Yeah, it's not gonna have a BMW motor in it anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna have the motor that's to my right.
That guy's gonna go in it.
That direction.
Yeah. So as you guys could probably tell, we're in my garage tonight. So sorry about my house furnace going the entire time, but it's like 75 in here, which is fantastic.
Is it a house furnace or is it
Yeah,
a
that-
mobile home furnace?
No, that came from Max and Kelsey when they remodeled
That's
their
so
first
funny.
house.
It's a whole house furnace and you've got it
Oh,
in
yeah.
a little garage.
Yeah, he went from
20 by 20 garage.
He went from fuel oil to natural gas, I believe. And he's
Yeah.
like, $50 and I'll load it into your car. And I pulled up my Legacy and we loaded it up and pulled it here.
That's so cool, yeah. Yeah, that thing's awesome.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's fun.
so the E30, yeah, you gonna sneak a peek at what we're doing? Did you tell the people
I don't think I've
about the
really
motor that's going
told
in?
people. So, there's
you
people that
mention
know, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've announced anything yet.
I think we've hinted at it a little
We
bit.
have. Should we just go for it?
Yeah.
So
I mean, why not?
We've talked about nuts and birth control tonight, so what else?
Yeah, so why not talk about,
So the motor that's going in,
Renaissance.
if you're a BMW nut, this is probably the part where you turn off the podcast and come back like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's not getting an LS because I have an imagination. Shots completely fired. I will empty that clip.
Yeah.
It is.
Wait, is this more genital references?
Sure.
You said it makes more sense to empty the clip and take the bullets out of the gun.
Yeah, that's not that kind of. No, we're not talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever. We're swapping in an SR20.
Yep.
Which is going to be fantastic. And it's financially has been a surprise.
Dude,
but it's so worth it. I'm so
bad.
excited. Well, the only thing
Dude,
that
people spend freaking 15 grand on swapping a motor.
No.
into a car.
Like
This
as far as
not
swaps
bad.
go, it's not bad. I keep buying parts. I'm like mentally racking up the bill in my head, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is how much you paid for the car, though.
Oh yeah. You far exceeded that.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, the suspension was half the value of the car.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
That's
what it
just
is.
the way it goes.
So the game plan. So as some of you may know, I do not believe in trailering your car to events at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the time and place. Like if I break down or whatever, it becomes a full-blown race car in the future. I get it. But the ultimate goal is to have a fun daily that can go out on the weekends and just shred the track and then come home and I can take the kid to school in it.
Got to be able to drive to Kansas, race there,
And drive back. Yes. Yes, that should be the ultimate test because if the M20 can do it, the SR20 should.
Well, really, like I think what our goal is going to be is like driving it to Road America. So we're
Yeah,
gonna try and
Road
figure
America
out an SCCA
That's a
track
really
night.
bad spot for that.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out. SCCA track night of America because we did one at Kansas, Topeka, Heartland.
Yep,
Heartland Park.
Heartland Speed? No, it is Heartland Park.
Heartland
You're right.
Park, yeah.
Yeah, went down there for some SCCA racing, saw some buddies, found out that some chick looks like a cat's anus.
Yep. Yeah, so after a weekend of racing on that track and then driving it all the way back, that was a really good test of like how bulletproof is the drivetrain in this thing, and
Which was surprising because not shortly after that, about a year later, it got thirsty. It blew
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, sucked a bunch of water in the intake, which you guys will see here soon
Oh,
enough. But so the SR swap is really just sort of a like, what is a motor that's going to fit in here as nicely as possible, require as minimal modification to the chassis as possible,
Yeah.
and deliver 200 plus horsepower reliably.
Correct. And what's kind of funny is so there's kind of a cult following for SR20 swapped E30s. There's actually a Facebook page of an Australian group, and my guess is probably because they're right next to Japan, it's easy to get everything that they need.
Yeah, if I had to guess.
It's not super common in the States. There's a handful from what I've read.
Yeah, there's only a couple.
There's one that's actually got a pretty good write-up and based out of California. But you can actually get Taiwan motor mounts for them that work. And yeah, it's not a super complicated swap so far.
Yeah, it's been a little
I mean,
surprising.
the biggest headache I've had is getting a three-way union for my brake lights.
Really, that's the most annoying part, huh?
That's the only
Wow.
part I've ordered so far that hasn't worked out.
That's
And,
awesome.
and that's completely me being a dumbass and just it was probably a mental overload of just looking after all parts.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at that and all the parts for the SR20 and you make that mental list and the physical list, but you're constant. You got 6 web pages up, and you're just cross-referencing and all that, and that's probably more on me than anything else.
Yeah, well, that's still, I mean,
It's
I
a
don't know,
minor
that's
deal.
so cool to think that like that might have been one of the most frustrating parts of it, like trying to locate a special union,
Yeah.
a brake line union.
I mean, we have
considering you're sticking a JDM motor that is not available in the United States.
Yes.
You have to like import these things, and we're stuffing it into a. I mean, the E30 sold really good, but they're not like a Camry. They're not
No,
like
they're-
a Taurus, you know.
yeah, I want to put them in cult status because they're not.
They're
But
not like the
they're not a Honda
Mazda,
Civic.
like a 323 GTX. That's
Yeah.
cult status, or Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah, they're kind of
Fiera's
that
a
happy
little
in
culty.
between where there's a lot of them out there, so there's a ton of support for them.
Yeah.
But they're just weird enough that if it's your first sports car, you're gonna struggle a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and
When it
like
comes to wrenching.
BMWs, and now granted, the E30 is probably like in my opinion, it's kind of the best generation.
I think
because
so,
it's
but
an
I'm kinda
amazing
biased.
chassis. And like the IS, the 2.5.
Yeah.
The 2.5 is a phenomenal motor from the factory.
Well, and that's the funny thing. If this was a 2.5 car, I don't know if I would have swapped it.
Yeah, he probably would have left it alone and just made more power with
Yeah.
that motor.
Yeah. But the funny thing is like, okay, you know, by the time you buy a 2.5 motor and you swap everything over, for a little bit more, I just start off with a better platform.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like the M20 has been incredibly reliable, and it's been for the most part, you know, because you beat the shit out of it.
Considering
you know?
it's got 200,000 miles and we did things with that car, with that motor that should have never, ever taken place.
Yeah, exactly. Revved the fuck out of it. Like, it raced it, drove it.
Raced it again.
A lot of times. You've done a lot of laps at BIR with that thing.
Yeah.
For Power Cruise.
Never passed anybody, but it did some laps.
No, and that's why that motor's coming out.
Well, technically the motor's
Yeah.
already out.
Yes, well, definitely. Which we got to hang on to it. Like,
Yeah.
what else are you gonna do with it?
Have my shop space back. A lot of it is I need to kill a Saturday or something and get all this junk just up in storage. Just get it out of the way a little bit. Or maybe even just unload, like keep the motor, but unload like the brake booster. I don't need that. Like just get rid of some of the shit that we're not gonna need for anything.
I just think it'd be fucking awesome to get like an old Willys Jeep and throw an M20 in it or something.
You've been wanting to modify a Willys Jeep.
I've been
though,
obsessed
in
with
ages.
Willys Jeeps forever.
I don't know what would I toss an M20 in other than a dumpster. I don't know.
Nothing comes to mind.
Nothing. It's so
You
sluggish.
would put it in like a
sluggish.
Chevette.
No. It's just kind of it's a good reliable motor.
What about if you just straight up built a hot rod? What if you just built like a T bucket? Would you put
I don't think the M20 is a nice enough looking motor for a T bucket. It's not a bad.
No?
That's not a bad looking motor.
What if you got the ones that have the velocity stacks, the carb manifolds where they've got the big stacks that are coming up?
Those are a little bit
Those
cooler.
are pretty sexy looking.
Yeah. But
I'm just pushing you to try and find a chassis.
That M20, I don't know what it would look good in.
I still think a rat rod would look fucking awesome with it, especially if you did downdraft carbs or if you did Gen V throttle bodies, individual throttle bodies. I think that'd look freaking incredible.
I mean, I've seen M20s with ITBs on them, and they look pretty sweet, and they sound fucking gnarly.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so sluggish. Like,
well, yeah, and if you put it in a chassis where it doesn't matter about going fast.
that's true. And so then that's the concept I gotta get over. Is like, the point is to go slow. The downside is I have a slow vehicle. It's right there.
Right.
That's designed for that.
People can't see. They can see a reflection.
Yeah, they can see the reflection of it.
The orange turd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm just one of those enablers who's
I
just
know you are.
always watching for
you, Sean, and Paul are probably the three worst people I know when it comes to that.
Well, we're car farmers.
Oh yeah, you could do this, this, and this, and this. No, just shut up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go with your plan.
Really, what we should do is just find another E30 shell.
Yeah.
That has a pop motor, toss it in there, flip it.
Yeah.
Or just use that as
or
the
find a
daily
rust-free shell, put all of this stuff into it,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
put it back in. And
Maybe that's what you should have started with this year. You just
A
found a
rust-free
different
shell. I've been looking, but people.
Yeah.
So E30s have gone up in price enough to where what I paid for this running. I drove this home from Cloquet. Is what I would get now for a clean shell.
Oh yeah.
They've gone up so
Prices
much.
have skyrocketed.
Yeah, and it's just I just can't fathom. I've almost come to the conclusion that if I'm gonna find a clean shell, it's gonna be at a state wagon, and I'll just go all out.
Jesus.
If I'm gonna,
I don't know if you can find estate wagon shells.
You can't. You can find them. You can find a handful of automatics. But
Really?
you're spending like 15 grand on them.
Well, if they're an auto, that's easy. You just convert it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they probably have the firewall holes and everything.
I think it's all pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So why haven't you picked up one of those? Because that would be epic with an SR.
Don't have 15 grand.
For a shell?
I haven't seen any shells come up. I've seen running driving ones on Bring a Trailer. Yeah, see, it happens.
Lawns.
Well, it's,
Jesus Christ,
it's
we're
my
working,
time.
parents. Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Damn, dude. They're that much still for a shell.
I haven't seen any shells pop up.
Oh, okay.
All the
So
ones
you don't
I've seen-
actually know what you're talking about.
I'm out of my element. No, I've just seen running driving ones pop up here and there, and they're pretty pricey.
Yeah.
That's because I thought I thought, if I understand correctly, they were imported to the States. They never sold them in the
Yes.
States. So therefore, everybody wants them, and you got to pay import tax, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's not like they're from Japan, where
No.
it's, like, easier to import them. Because I
Yeah.
got a feeling, like, all the boats are coming through the Pacific, right?
Yes.
Isn't that where all the imports coming from?
I don't know, man.
I can't imagine they're crossing Europe for cars. I mean,
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think that they'd be shipping stuff out of the UK. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like most stuff that's coming out of Japan is coming in shipping containers directly from Japan to...
usually overnight.
I don't know. I'm assuming yes. Yes, dude. Probably to California or Washington or something.
Yeah, and
I don't know enough about it. British
not sure.
Columbia, you know.
I'm not sure how that
maybe.
would work.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how you'd get BMWs, but here's the thing: like, there's import auto auctions. God damn it! I gotta be yawning. Fucking alcohol. There's
Nope.
import auto auctions that has lots of Euro cars that pop up on it as well.
Really?
I've seen like Lancia, like Delta Integrales,
Ooh,
like
I would love a
tons of those
Lancia.
things. There's one Evo that made it through too. That was going for quite a few bucks. It was like 40
So
grand
what you're
or
saying, it's
something
just
like
a
that.
money option. Anything's possible if you had enough money.
Bro.
Bro?
Bro.
Don't call me bro.
So I don't know if how well these auctions are known yet. There's some amazing JDM shit that comes through these things.
Really?
I'm gonna have to send you some links for it one of
Hell
these
yeah.
days.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we're talking like weird JDM stuff,
Like Delica weird or weirder?
100%. Delica, I haven't seen a ton of Delicas, but I've seen enough cars that are similar to it. The Honda versions, the you get like a lot of the is it Korean brands? What are the shit. What did Marty build? What's that weird little key car that he built?
Oh crap. Shit. I can picture it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a waggle van looking thing, sort of, but with two doors. Yeah, that. Fuck. What is that called?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there.
Mira.
Yes.
Daihatsu.
Yes.
Jesus, that was hard to come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note.
The Daihatsu, so you see a lot of those coming through, but like a lot of like, you know, because they have a million like high jets and all that kind of stuff, like really weird looking ones, and they're coming through all these auctions. But then you also get like the giant estate cars, and you've got Toyota Crowns and all this kind of crap, like these
Damn.
crazy looking old cars, and you know, yeah, you're getting like R30s, R31 Skylines and
It's
stuff.
probably a good thing neither one of us have a lot of money, because it'd just be.
It's not a lot of money. We're talking some of these stupid things are $5,000.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Shit. If
Yeah, I
would've
know.
known
That's
that.
the thing. It's like I've shown the wife a couple of times some of these things, and I'm like, oh no, like I could come up with this money pretty easily.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you got
well,
enough
if I would have known
garbage.
that, I wouldn't have. That's why I swapped this. Just saved all my bucks and
Well,
import something.
Yeah, you'd have been. Yeah, there's a little more that goes into it,
Yeah,
but you know, yeah, you could easily. I'll send you some links, and then you're gonna be like, God damn it! Like I need a 4x4 key car, like off-road 4x4 key cars. There's some cool shit.
I think it's a kind of a blessing in disguise that A, I don't have the money, or B, I don't have the space for more cars.
A key car, you could fit that right
Next to the
like
Grom.
right there.
Put
Yeah.
next to the Grom.
Like a Honda City would fit right there.
Jesus.
Probably.
I would.
No joke, it might
I mean,
actually.
technically, I mean, we had a conversation a few years back. She doesn't care as long as she can park her Pilot back here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it should be okay.
We'll just, like, key cars don't weigh a whole lot, so we'll just stack them.
Little does she know, I'm just gonna keep pushing them into the yard.
He'll be truly a car farmer.
Oh God.
One of those assholes.
That might be the breaking point. Finally, I put that woman through some shit, and that might
Yeah.
be the point where she's like, "Go."
I've had it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, my wife doesn't care as long as it's not affecting us financially, and yeah, it's not too much of a blight. Too much of an eyesore.
Yeah, it'll.
Especially now that our yard is actually kind of nice looking.
Yeah, you
now
just build a bigger fence.
Just like keep adding to it.
If she can't see it, you're fine.
But here's the thing, like you've seen behind my garage, I built my garage, new construction. So I figured out where I want to place everything and whatever, and we have some rules in Duluth that we have to like have a certain amount of feet from the property line and whatnot. So what I did was like I gave myself I think like 8 feet or something like that from the property line, so you can easily fit cars along the back of the garage. So I can very easily just line them up.
I love that idea. So
Yeah.
we should start buying some cars. We'll make it one.
We should finish a certain Mazda too, though, and a
Yeah.
certain VW, and
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have. Well, it's like Jim messaged me the other day. He's like, "Hey, my car group's gonna be building a 24-hour Le Mans car. You guys should build one and do a build off." And I'm like, I love the idea. I'm like, I'll talk to Jake about it, which I am now.
yeah,
But like realistically, I'm like, we have 4 motor swaps in line.
24 hours of Le Mans. We're talking
Or
lemons.
lemons.
24 hours of lemons.
24 hours of lemons.
Okay, so something that they might not realize, 24 hours of lemons requires like legit gear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have to do fire suppression. I'm pretty
it's
sure you
cage.
need. Yeah, I think you might need a cage, maybe. Yeah. But the fire suits alone are really expensive.
It's a lot more than just saying we bought a $500 Civic and we're gonna go run it.
So I'm not saying no, because there's a certain Honda that we have
Yes.
that we're talking about grabbing another shell for. So that might not take that long for us to throw it together. But the question is expenses.
Expenses and time.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, it's like, this is gonna get expensive. The shoebox is getting up there. That's gonna
Yeah.
get up there. Well, that might be the cheaper because that motor was free.
Yeah, because you've already got all the junk for it.
We got most of the
Most
junk
of
for
the
it.
junk, yeah.
And then the other one sitting outside could be expensive. You know, that's probably a
Yeah,
few grand.
that's true. I mean, I guess that would be a good 24 hours of lemons.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, here's the benefit if you guys watch these podcasts. We got an RX-7.
Yes.
We have an RX-7 that's in decent shape,
Yes.
as far as we know.
With
We haven't
bright
dug
red
super
interior.
far. And
Also,
yeah,
a
we're
huge
gonna,
shout out to Wes,
yeah.
who hooked us up with the RX-7.
Wesley Snipes, you're the bomb.
Yep.
Yep. The white version.
Yep.
Yep.
No vampires.
No vampires.
Got that shit under
So
control.
we need to tear into that thing one of these days and get a look at it. Obviously, after the snow melts and we can
Get to it.
Get to it. But yeah, it's not rust free, but it's in actually pretty decent shape.
It's in perfect shape to put something with a lot of power in there and just smoke tires.
Yeah, and that was kind of the whole plan behind it. We were gonna just basically make it as a tire burner, just a burnout car / like intro to drifting kind of thing. Just slap a V8 in it and bake the
'cause
tires off.
I mean, if we tap a wall on a car that costs us nothing,
Yeah.
so be it.
No harm, no foul.
Yep.
Some harm, no foul. So yeah. Exactly. We're not going to get to that in time for 24 hours. Not
No.
until 2022.
That's
realistically.
if we stay on track, which we never do.
No, we never do. Not at all. 'Cause we also got a heap of not bicycles, motorcycles.
Yeah, you can see one.
Can you
you
see
can
it
actually
from
see
that?
it. Yeah.
Hey, that's one
Hanging.
that's gonna be in a build series.
Yeah, I got another one under the lean-to outside too.
Which one is that?
That's a 360.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's the CB360.
We gotta do something cool with that one. It's a 2-cylinder.
Yes.
360s are all 2-cylinder.
Yep.
The 350 at a
That
4-cylinder.
I want to do like a really small kind of stubby cafe racer type build
Should
with it.
hardtail it.
Yes. All of it. It's gonna be a
Hardtail cafe racer.
Brat as well. I don't know how. We'll just tie it all together.
Should we chop it too and just have like shitload of rake?
Yeah, and we put ape hangers on it.
So it's gonna be a cafe racer,
Chopper.
bobber tracker, chopper,
And we'll put knobby
ape
tires on it
hangers,
so it can go off
knobby
road.
tires, dirt bike.
Yes.
And we'll take it off road.
Yep.
It's gonna have about
And just-
a 9-foot width tire to tire.
Something like that. And just
Sure.
to like make sure it's all Harley like too, whenever we're at a stop sign, we'll just rub the piss out of it.
Exactly. What we gotta do is we gotta like take the exhaust pipes that are normally like what, 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches or
Something
whatever.
like that, yeah.
We got to taper that down to about 1/4 of an inch. So you get a really good raspy sound.
I think we may well just do a reverse exhaust. That way, instead of going back, it comes up.
Into your face? I thought, like, are you talking about putting it into the intake?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll recycle the exhaust.
Exactly. It'll be the most efficient motor in the world. Runs purely on carbon monoxide.
Yes.
Dioxide?
Dioxide. It's dioxide.
Dioxide?
Carbon dioxide.
Jesus Christ. We're proving how incompetent we are with
It's
science.
late and we're drinking beer, so
Yeah,
it
pretty
happens.
much. All right, my man. Let's call it.
All right.
Let's end it. Let's let the people go to bed,
Yeah,
go to work,
The 4 of you
go
that
jack
watched,
off,
we,
whatever they were needing to do.
They probably jacked off while watching this.
Yeah.
If I got-
You know what they're not going to jack off about?
Getting snipped.
Fast deference, getting the snip.
Maybe they have a whole like nurse, doctor, patient fetish.
I
thing.
know if that's a part of your fetish, man, you got problems. Jesus
To each
Christ.
their own.
Do you think like could you? Well, no, you couldn't use a cigar cutter because you'd have to get the nut through it.
No. A cigar cutter is how you chop all of it off.
So I'm just trying to think if there's another. Like, what is it? The dog nail trimmers, the dog toenail cutters.
Oh God.
I gotta stop talking.
Oh, man.
Jesus,
How about
I should have
just-
stopped talking 30
Just
seconds ago.
wire snips, man. Just get it done.
Just wire snips, dikes.
Dykes. Got snipped by Dykes.
Perfect. I'm sure they'd prefer that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for another Brews with the Dudes podcast. I am Jake Lindquist.
I am Donnie Allen.
You should probably have known that by now.
Yep.
Probably should have started the podcast with that. but
Whatever.
We didn't.
No, it
so.
just gives people a reason to watch all of it. 'Cause like, who are these fucks?
Yeah, who are these idiots? You gotta wait till the end to find out. I don't think anybody's sticking around just for that.
Probably not. As soon as we started talking about your testicles, they probably signed off.
Or maybe they were more invested. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
It's,
Maybe that's when they picked up.
It's character development. Soon everybody's gonna know that my nuts aren't attached. They're just loose, moving around in this empty bag. No, not empty. What am I
Like
saying?
a couple of jelly beans in a Ziploc.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. They're just shrivel up that small. Jesus Christ. Okay. Bye-bye. See you guys next week.
Peace.